Hello, bunkies. It's me. I'm back. Oh, the good news. I got a lot of good news. One thing is that George Tiller, of course, is still in hell and trying to get out. Of course, I don't think he'll ever get out. But I thought, what? Do you remember the movie Groundhog Day? Do you remember that? Where the guy had the same day, every day it was the same day. I thought, wouldn't that be great for a story about George Tiller? Every day, 3 or 4 times, he would be aborted by the most horrific ways of cutting him up, burning him alive, sticking something in the back of his head and sucking his brains out, and as soon as he was born and delivered dead, his soul would go right back and he'd be born again in a late term or any term abortion, over and over and over, the most horrific way. What I don't understand is this: if we went up to another human being, scalded them, forced acid down their throat, cut them all up, cut their head off, cut their head in half, cut off their arms and their feet, and then cut them in half. Or if we walked up to some human being and we stuck a pair of scissors in the back of their neck and spread them so we could put a tube up in there and suck their brains out, that story would be on the front page of every paper in the world. But it's done every day to the most innocent of all of us, our next generation of children. I think they've killed already now like 25 million babies. Those children had a right to live, just like you did if you're listening to me now. The way that they kill these babies is so horrifying, and do you think for 1 minute that they don't feel that? I've had 6 children. They feel. So I think George Tiller should be aborted at least 5 times every day in a horrible way, and then his soul would come back to hell, and then it would happen to him again, over and over and over. I got more good news for you. There's no more crooks in Chicago, you know. You know how that was the most corrupt state and city in the country. But there's no more crooks, thieves, hoods, thugs, liars, cheats. In Chicago, they're all in Washington now working for Obama. What about this Van Jones? He's one of those truthers. Thinks George Bush had something to do with 9/11? Like Rosie O'Donnell. I understand her girlfriend left her, you know, because of the way she is and her attitude. I think they called it her wife. I don't care. It's all weird to me. And so they're all in Washington now, and like with this Van Jones, he's an avowed communist and a truther. Anyway, he resigned, so he's out of there. Did you see Hillary in Africa? She was dancing with the Africans, and the brothers were getting down and boogieing, you know, and she was there going, you know, she dances worse than a white girl. And they were getting down, but then later, in Africa, she had that little, somebody misquoted, but the interpreter made a mistake when he said, what does your husband think about the world situation? She sits there And, my husband is not the Secretary of State. I am. I saw the old Hillary, from the 90s. And she said, I don't channel my husband. She don't do anything for her husband, I don't think. But on TMZ, so funny, they said Hillary was having a bad hair day and she was feeling fat and unloved. She always has been unloved. Got a cat she married. Speaking of that, the Republican governor of South Carolina, Sanford, is still trying to hang on to his job. He had an affair with some woman in Argentina, I believe, and was flying there on probably the taxpayer's dime. She was his soulmate. Well, he looks to me like when I was a kid, the guys that looked like him couldn't get a date. They were nerds. And I'll tell you, this is the funniest thing, is that his wife did not stand by him. She didn't stand there looking like an idiot, like Spitz's wife and Larry Craig's wife and all these other wives that stand there looking like they've been hit by a 2x4. She didn't show up. She didn't go there with him. And she's moved out of the governor's mansion. Yay for her. The only smart one. One thing about Republicans is that they hold themselves above, how would I want to put it? They set a very high standard of family and all this, and if they screw up, it's a big deal. But in the Democratic Party, you got Spitzer, Clinton, Edwards, and they just accept that because they're all skanks. And now they got more tax cheats they're catching up with, and oh, there was something else funny I was going to tell you. Oh, one little thing. Did you realize that Obama wants to bring the rules of California on all of us? One of them is, to sell your house, you've got to have installed, you've got to have a plug to charge up your hybrid. You've got to have a special, windows. I can't sell my house unless I install, if he gets his way, unless I install these special windows and a special plug outside to charge up the hybrids and on and on. Why would we want to be like California? They're bankrupt. Did you know that every kindergarten kid in California has to read a book about 2 male gay penguins? Like they need to know all that. And it's like the 2 penguins, the 2 males fall in love with each other, and then they get baby penguins, and they live happily ever after. I don't want a first grader reading that crap. I'm sorry. To be that sick. And also to teach them not to bully. In the first grade, not to bully anybody who's gay. They don't. Kids in the first grade don't know anything. Why do they want to indoctrinate these kids all the time? Hey, if gay people want to live their lifestyle, that's fine. Don't push it on my kids. They're very impressionable at that age. And I don't think that they probably would choose to be gay. Especially at the age of 6 or 7. They don't know. Anyways, I gotta log off. I'll see you later. pray for our soldiers.